I'm Brad Fay in the Sportsnet studios. Ricky Williams participated in his first practice with the Argos this morning. He took to the field with the other running backs and appeared to be in great shape. What a zoo of a crowd it was there. The 29-year-old signed a one-year deal with the Argos yesterday worth $240,000. Ricky gets his first taste of the grass north of the border.
The talent here is comparable to the talent in the NFL.
But what's the feel in South Beach?
There's not a whole lot of benefits for the Dolphins in this situation.
I'm Brad Fay in the Sportsnet studios. Thanks for joining us finally for Ricky Williams, an appearance on grass that everyone was actually pleased to see and talk about. The newest member of the Toronto Argos began his CFL life with his first steps on the team's practice field in Mississauga this morning, and a geeked-up Jim Lang was there.
Well, a Monday morning practice during a CFL training camp is usually pretty dull. However, this day marked the very first practice with the Argonauts for Ricky Williams. And make no mistake, there is nothing dull about the former Heisman Trophy winning running back.
I made it. I survived, so I guess I'm okay.
Ricky Williams did more than just survive. The Pro Bowl running back gave every indication that he's going to have no trouble making the transition from the NFL to the CFL. All in all, he was pleased with his first day as an Argonaut.
I had a good time out there. You know, it's nice to get back on the field. It's intense. You have to be focused. And you have to pay attention. And you have to work hard. As far as talent, I think there's talent everywhere. I think the talent here is comparable to the talent in the NFL. It's just a matter of consistency. And I think from what I saw out there, you know, these guys can run, these guys can hit, these guys know what they're doing.
Now that he's finally in training camp and taking reps, Ricky Williams made quite the first impression with his coaches and new teammates.
It seemed like he was able to adapt, and you can really tell what kind of football player he is as far as his work ethic, preparing, and all those things. So, you know, he's a true professional.
It's his first day. Let's get him in a game situation and let's watch him run wild.
You see him do it in the NFL, so the stretches and cutting up and running over defensive backs and outside linebackers, and with the field being as wide as it is here, I'm sure he'll be able to take advantage of it.
He didn't surprise of how he looked out there. He looks pretty like he's been running, he's been in shape. They put him in for a couple plays just to see what he could do, and if you look at him, he still has the same running style, running low, running forward. Ricky's a downhill runner.
We're all anxious to see Ricky run and see him get in the game. I think everything suggests that he has the ability to have a great deal of success, but that has to translate to the football field.
For the Argos front office, the economic impact of the signing of Ricky Williams is already being felt.
There was one guy that actually came out of his Blue Jay seats, and I guess he's from New York, and gave us $3,100 US for 4 tickets on the spot. And I've tried to call the ticket line a couple times this morning, and I just can't get through.
We're already backlogged in jersey sales. We can't get them in fast enough. We need 3 days notice, and we've got more American orders for his jersey than we have jerseys in stock. So it's looking like the demand is very high right now.
As per team policy, Ricky Williams had to stand up in the locker room before his first practice with the Argos, introduce himself, tell everybody where he's from, and talk about his favorite hobby. For the record, Ricky Williams said his favorite hobby was teaching yoga. Jim Lang, Sportsnet, Mississauga.
Miami Dolphins coach Nick Saban released this statement, I guess. We expressed to Ricky our concerns about playing in Toronto in 2006. We are relying on assurances made by Ricky, his agent, the Toronto Argonauts, and the commissioner of the CFL that Ricky will return to the Dolphins in 2007. Based on these assurances and despite our concerns for Ricky playing in the CFL in 2006, we will leave it up to him to decide whether or not he will negotiate a contract to play for the Argonauts this year. Jeff Darlington of the Palm Beach Post is a beat reporter for the Miami Dolphins. This story brought you to Mississauga. Will Miami Dolphin fans make the pilgrimage north?
I think people are very intrigued by this whole thing, so nothing would shock me at this point. People are going to be watching the CFL a little bit closer now, and I think people have already learned a lot just from the reports that have been in the paper down there. You know, everything from the wider field to the smaller linebackers makes people think that Ricky Williams could be a star.
Reaction's been far and wide throughout NFL and CFL circles, and obviously the Dolphins have a lot more invested in this guy than the $240,000 that the Argos are going to pay him. What is the feeling among the players and coaches with the Dolphins?
Well, like even Ricky said yesterday, there's not a whole lot of benefits for the Dolphins in this situation. There are some. He's going to be fresh, and after, you know, if he had sat out this season, he would have been missing 2 of the past 3 years, not to mention the 4-game suspension this last season. So, you know, he will have fresh legs. He'll be in football shape. Aside from that, obviously there's some risk of injury, but the fact that Ricky can stay focused, the fact that he can, you know, kind of be doing something rather than just sitting at home is definitely a good thing with Ricky Williams.
This guy's got a Heisman on his resume, not to mention an NFL rushing title, but he hasn't played a lot of football in recent years. What can CFL fans expect from Ricky Williams?
I think he's got the potential to be great. His last few games, when Ronnie Brown was hurt in Miami, he stepped up as the starter and he played great in both games. He started to get his legs back. You saw the explosive speed. He was a little bit smaller, but this guy's elusive. He's quick. He's explosive. He's everything you need in a running back. And if they can figure out a way to fit him into this system and Ricky can adjust to this system, Ricky Williams is going to be just as great as he was in the NFL and just as great as he was in the college football game.
Long way to Tipperary or Mississauga, depending what your choice of song is, but there's the route that Ricky Williams took for being the 5th overall pick in the NFL draft. You remember the Philadelphia Eagle fans booing mercilessly when they took Donovan McNabb instead of Ricky Williams, but now he's a member of the CFL's Toronto Argonauts for the next year.